Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching this. I am the Chall, and today, Chall Chats, the Euros. We have another round of 16 game done and dusted. Spain 4, Georgia 1. Spain dominated that one and proving why they are my pick to win the Euros this year. Before we get started, make sure you do like, comment, subscribe, click the notification bell so you never miss another YouTube video. We are on the road to 3,000 subscribers and 500,000 views. The July schedule of videos is getting ready, so stay tuned. Hopefully, we're going to start finally doing them monthly schedule reviews, subject to change, of course, just to kind of give you guys an insight as to what's coming up on the channel content-wise for the month. And for now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's get straight into this one and let's talk about Spain's dominant victory over a still impressive Georgia. Well, let's go into, to start off with, the starting lineups. So Spain went with the 4-3-3 that beat Italy in the group stages, and we have this as your starting lineup for España. Unai Simon in goal, a back four from right to left, consisting of Daniel Carvajal, Robin Lenormand, who scored the own goal for Georgia, to give Georgia the lead in the game, Aymeric Laporte, and Marc Cucurella. Rodri in the centre defensive midfield role, Fabian Ruiz on the right with Pedro on the left of the midfield three, in front of Rodri. Right wing, Lamine Yamal, I'll talk about him. Nico Williams on the left, I will talk about him. And Alvaro Morata up front. For Georgia, one of the underdogs of this year's tournament, it is a 3-5-2 around about. So, in goal, Georgi Mamardashvili. Again, if I pronounced any of these names wrong, I do apologise. Georgi Mamardashvili in goal. A back three consisting from right to left in order of Georgi Gavasiani, Guram Kashia, and Lashad Diwali. On the right wing back role, we had Otar Kabadze, and on the left wing back role, Luka Lokashvili. In the midfield three, we had from right to left, so right centre, then left, Georgi Katvetse, Otar Kiechvili, and Georgi Kokolashvili. And up front together, Georgios Mikautse and Kavicha Kavatkasilia. So we're going to kick off with Georgia. Now, before I start going into their performance on this individual basis, Georgia, keep your head held high. This tournament will go down in their country's history. And you know, football's about winning trophies, right? But I'll tell you why this will go down in the history for them. This is, I believe, this is their debut year in the European Championships. They've gone further than I think nearly everyone expected them to go. They've got some great players in there. I think Mamardashvili and Net produced some absolutely incredible saves tonight. And has produced some wonderful saves throughout the tournament. Kokolashvili has been an impressive attacking talent. Overall, I think Georgia's been a good team. They've countered effectively with aggression. They've countered efficiently and effectively. And Georgia, for me, just have this bit of zest about them, this kind of force on the counter. They're a really effective, aggressive, pressing counter team. And Georgia have done very, very well to get to this stage of the tournament. So they can be, have nothing to be ashamed about. They weren't the favourites going into that clash. They were not the favourites going against Spain. But fair play to them. They took the lead in that game. Unfortunately, they lost the lead gradually over the first half and the second half as Spain grew control of the match. But for me, Georgia have got nothing to be ashamed about. Yes, the scoreline wasn't great. And, you know, I think marking on a couple of them goals could have been done better by Georgia. But when you're up against Olmo, when you're up against Yamal, when you're up against Rodri, when you're up against Carvajal, when you're trying to score goals past Unai Simon, you know, you're kind of at a lost cause here. It's a very tough one from a Georgia point of view because they've got a good squad. I think, and this is just one of my early predictions, I think give it a couple of years, I think the World Cup could produce a bit of a shock. I do think Georgia could potentially get into the World Cup in 2 years' time. And I do believe they may have a chance of getting out of the group stages. I do believe that you have a chance if they do qualify. So Georgia have some great players in that squad. Mamardashvili, one of the best keepers in La Liga for me. He just shines, just absolutely shines. He's an effective shot stopper. He produced some wonderful saves on the night. Couldn't stop it from being 4, but unfortunately against the quality of Spain, that's just what you're going to come up with. But Georgia have got nothing to be ashamed about. They can hold their heads very, very high. Georgia, for me, were one of the underdogs of the tournament along with Switzerland, and I'm proud of them for getting so far in their debut year in the European Championships. And credit to all their fans. Their fans were still singing, still making noise, even towards full time, and fair play to them. Well done, Georgia. Keep your heads up, stick by it, and we'll see you down the road. Now, let's talk about Spain. Oh boy, Spain. Viva España. Viva España. They're my favourites for the tournament. There's a reason why I sing Viva España. They are my favourites of the tournament. They are the pick of the bunch, and that display is why. They have gone up against the Georgia side that have been shocking everybody in this tournament. They got rid of Portugal, essentially, and Spain were just on point. They had control of the match even when Georgia scored that goal. The Georgia goal was technically, in my opinion, against the run of play because Spain had the control of the match. They had the pace, they had the aggression, they had the press, they had everything on Georgia. Georgia scored the goal. Georgia grew back into that match. And Spain, to their credit, kind of pulled control back in the second half and kind of took control from there. Dani Olmo, round of applause for you. Nico Williams, round of applause to you. Lamine Yamal, apart from not getting a goal, applause to you. Lamine Yamal, one of the future talents in world football, one of the brightest young prospects in world football. What's this space about Lamine Yamal? He's only 16. 16 years old. He's not even old enough to have a fag in this country. He's not even old enough to have a pint in this country. And yet he is one of the best young teenage talents in the world today. And the stats show it. What he's done at Barcelona shows it. And for me, he is one of the best young prospects at the moment to come out of world football. He's showing it on the international stage. He's going to go back to Barcelona and show it on club stage again. And for me, he just exemplifies everything you want in a proper winger. Not a winger that will come up against his man, step back and pass sideways. No, I'm talking about a proper winger. A proper winger, like back in the day. People like your Nanny and people like that. People back in the old days of the Barclays Premier League and, people back in the days of your Frank Ribery's, your Ian Robbins. Proper, direct wingers that won't cut back and pass sideways. People that will go against their man, use their technical ability, use their tricky footwork, and get past their man. The only thing Yamal was missing today was a goal. Literally, the only thing he was missing was a goal. Nico Williams, what a star player. He has delivered such exuberance and such grace on the ball, off the ball. I felt the goal that he took was class. I think the way he controlled it, the way he ran, the way he just darted and weaved in and out and took his finish well. Dani Olmo, the touch to set up that fourth goal was just exquisite. Spain are the best side in this competition. But apparently, England are the favourites. Don't take my word for it. Take the words of the supercomputers. I don't get why England are the favourites. I don't know why they're the bookies' favourites. For me, I think they're being overhyped. I'm not going to turn this into an England video. I think they're being overhyped. Spain are the favourites for this year's tournament. And yes, coming from an England fan, that may seem treacherous. That may seem, oh, he's not supporting his own country. Let's just go at him. No. Of course I want England to win. Of course I do. I won't be a fan otherwise. But, in my personal opinion, if I'm being brutally honest, we're not winning. We're not. Spain are going to win this tournament. I think they'll beat Germany. I'd be surprised if... no offence to Germany, because they've got some elite players, and Spain versus Germany is going to be an elite match to watch. But I would be surprised if Spain didn't get through. Germany, to be fair to them, are a great side. But there's been a lack of consistency more with Germany than with Spain. I think Spain's shown a little bit more consistency than Germany. Germany had that one game where they had to claw it back. And yes, today I think it was the first time Spain were behind in this game, or the first time Spain were behind in this tournament, as far as I'm aware. But Rodri pulled it back with a beautiful finish. Then the second went in. Then Williams made it 3. Then Olmo made it 4. They took control back. They did what Germany did against Scotland. They were in control from minute 1. The difference is Spain lacked a little bit of control after Georgia's goal for a bit, but they grabbed it back in the second half, and my word, did they take control of that second half. Unbelievable performance from Spain in the second half, and that's why they won it by the scoreline that they won it. Viva de España, they're my picks to win the tournament, and the reason why is because of the talent on display, the tactical setup, the way they're set out to play, the way the manager tells them to play, the way they play as individuals, but also play as a team unit, whilst also starring as individuals. Everything about Spain is clicking right now. That's what excites me about Spain, and I don't think they're done either. So then, what's next for both teams? Well, like I said with Georgia, I think they just need to go again. Hopefully they qualify for the World Cup in a couple of years because they've got the talent to at least get out of the group stages, potentially. You know, take into account the international teams, your Argentinas, your Uruguays, your Americas, your Brazils. You know, they're going to be a threat. Australia have a few players in there as well. There's a few international teams outside of Europe that are going to really have a go. And Georgia will have some task of getting out of the group stage if they do qualify for the World Cup in a couple of years. But Georgia have the players to at least attempt it, and they've got the style of football to attempt it as well. From a Spanish point of view, like I said, my favourites for the tournament, they're coming up against Germany next. That's going to be a belter of a game. But that is it for today, guys. Make sure you do like, comment, subscribe, click the notification bell so you never miss another YouTube video. We have the next 2 round of 16 games in the Euros this year coming up tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. Then we have the final 2 games coming up on the 2nd of July. But hopefully, fingers crossed, in the next 24 to 48 hours as well, the video talking about what's coming up on the channel in July will also be released. Fingers crossed. If not, I do apologise. We might start them in August. Thank you very much. I am the CHALL. Ta-ra for now. That's full time. Mean that badge to you. Viva España!